Alright, so I'm walking in Mexico. I'm walking in Mexico in Cancun along the peninsula going to Valladolid. I'm going to Playa Carmen in Cancun on a bus, and this wasn't part of the plan. The bus driver is also he seems to be very mad at me and showing some aggression. And I think the reason he's doing this is because he's trying to think that maybe I'm fishing out to see if somebody will murder me or if somebody will do something harmful when I'm looking for shit. Someone did tell me when I got to Playa Carmen, when I got back to Cancun, some interesting characters I met. Met a lot of foreign people. This guy was from France, and he was half Indian. No, he was half Indian. He was from India. He was like not from Afghanistan. He was like from India, and he was like some sort of genius. I swear to God, he was speaking Arabic, Spanish, and I think Spanish and French, like three languages, and he was phrasing each word, making a complete sentence, and it was the most craziest fucking shit I have ever heard in my entire life. This guy could speak Spanish and Arabic, and he told me like he's the only person, one of the only people in the world to have this ability. You cannot train for this. You have to be born with this ability. Your brain has to be designed to do this. And I was having a few drinks, and he was doing this psychology shit. I think this guy was a genius, like a real life genius of his category. And I heard him speaking, and he started speaking Arabic, and he started speaking French, and I swear it was like the combination. He would say one word French, one word Arabic, then the next word would be French, the other one would be Arabic, but it was a complete conversation that he was making like this, switching from one language to the other, and a whole conversation was the craziest way that I couldn't believe that someone could actually have that ability. And I want to say that I don't know if I even remember correctly, that I think that he may have been using a certain type of language of two words, using a combination together, causing you to make you think that he was speaking Arabic. I mean, it was the wildest shit I'd ever seen. But anyway, when I got there, this is not just some of the other events. This is a website that I noticed this guy talks about, and it's like blog something in Mexico, and it's cartels, and these are all the homicides that happen. They take pictures in different countries. They do different things. In Mexico, you'll find newspapers of homicides and human decapitations, and they put them on the actual newspaper for people to pick up and see. There is no sensory editing that they do for the people. No, just as it happens, they show everyone on the newspaper for everyone to see.
Everything saying about, Chapo Guzman or Policía.
And he's pointing out,
Un supuesto miembro del cartel de Sinaloa es interrogado por un grupo de personas que pertenecen al cartel Sinaloa, que obligan a implicar oficiales corruptos que colaboran.
I don't know if you can see this right here, but it's probably since it's editing, you can't see it because of Facebook. These are dead police officers that have been murdered, and it's some really fucking scary shit. Now, I don't know if you can see this. This is more the website. This is human pieces. You can't see it on your screen, but it's not even very clear when I'm looking at it, but it's supposed to be human remains that have been cut into little pieces, a person.
He's all chopped up. This is all day, every 30 minutes, 24/7. So there's a video. Watch.
This guy's being held hostage. Now, this brings you, when I watch this, you just get the me, it's like the way, the sensation that you can't, there's no authorities that are going to come. This isn't prison or anything like this. I'm going to show you how I'll get away with it. I'm not trying to rabbit trail too much, but the guy that I spoke to at the bar, this guy, they're forcing him to speak out everything. I thought this is one of the things that when the murder attempt was happening to me, this is why I was pleading to them, and I said, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want to do? What is it you want? What do you want from me? I'll tell you anything you want. And this is kind of a little bit of what it felt. Whatever you need, just, you know, whatever it is. But this is much more, they have guns. At this moment, I'm feeling President Barack Obama. At this moment, I'm feeling Oprah Winfrey. At this, I'll tell you anything. Just don't fuck me up. But it's fear.
Días después se publicó otro video, esta vez nadie decía nada.
People like with their guts coming up from the stomach, their heads blown off, all real things, you know? That's how we get ideas, that's how we make our songs.
Now, this right here is an individual that is being held hostage. After they have him where they want him, like the murder attempt, like the way that I was being raped by transgender, and, you know, this is kind of what I felt. Okay. This guy right here is tied behind his back and has a blindfold. His legs are bound, his arms are bound behind him, and he's laying on the floor shirtless with looks like to be shorts. Okay, as you can see, these two individuals right here are grabbing a bat, and they are repeatedly beating him in his spinal cord, preventing him from running anymore. They're just beating him. You can see him squealing and trying to fight for life. But keep in mind, I'm not trying to, you know, a lot of these cartels that they're beating on the ground and doing these horrific crimes, not all of them, but they're also the same people that cut other people's heads off and killed a lot of people themselves. Okay, this individual here is butt naked, and he's already deceased. And when they tried pulling down my pants to rape me, I was laying like this when Michael was about to rape me. This is an individual, he's already dead. Now, when Michael was getting ready to fuck me, or if they used electronic devices to fake my death, I don't know the situation. This is kind of what was happening. Okay, this right here, they just chopped his head off. They just killed this individual, and I don't want to show you that part because you probably shouldn't see that. And so his head got cut off. As you can see, he grabbed his head and it's dismembered. Okay, so when I was at the cemetery, as much as everything is kind of going on and everything, I was getting these sensations that this is how they were going to pick up my body. When I had people show up when I was working at Advanced Graphics, where Mike Standish owns the company, and people were doing this and showing up to the subway, and they would show up and they would say, do something to a scoot, do something to, sandwich. I'd see these guys and they show up and they'd go, and they'd do this shit, and they would walk right up to me. And this is 25 years old, 2 years after my transplant, before I had to go sleep with Ginger, where I excused Mike Standish. This is kind of what happened. And, that's not what kind of what happened, but you get these sensations that it's when you feel the sense of that many people doing that type of motion gun, they're going to kill you. This is what I remember happened to Billy. This is what I remember happened to a few other people that were murdered. I got this, when I'm being kicked at the cemetery, I hate to think that somebody's going to be picking up my dead body like this. It's some random field, decomposing, just left over.
Nada de eso ha tenido castigo y esto anima a otros a cometer delitos porque si no hay castigo.
Cubre un evento donde encontramos el doce de un cuerpo alimentado.
This is in the newspapers all the time. This is where they have people dismembered. This is the torso that they found.
Antes de que cayera la noche, nos recopilamos más de 10 pedazos que pertenecían al cuerpo de un mismo hombre. Muy poco después, se publicó en internet un video de la madre de la víctima.
Okay, this woman here, this is the mother of the torso that I think they found, or they cut the individual's head off and dismembered him kind of into little pieces and threw in segments, and this is just this is the mother. And I showed up to my mother's front door covered in blood, thinking that the President of the United States had something to do with having an attempted murder placed on me because of whatever bigger picture I didn't understand. And I did not know if that was true, and I was taking a gamble. And hey, if someone else didn't want to get me murdered, classic soul trying to throw down with Jesse saying everyone, I can never explain the danger that when you're having two pictures shown to you, there are dead bodies to your friends, and they're scared. And I remember calling John Basili over the phone. I said, hey, don't go over there again. I know how to get us out of it. Don't worry, I can navigate. I speak Spanish. Trust me. I don't want you going over there again, all right? And I was trying to get him away, and you just can't get up and fucking leave. It's like gang members from Mexico will tell you, even in the U.S. will tell you, you just can't sign up and say, hey, I don't want to fucking do this shit anymore. This is not a drop out of college situation. You're not leaving, not with your life. There's something bad happening to you with your life or someone you care about. This is one of the most frightening situations I've been in because I thought he was going to send people to come get me. This is right after this. Michael had done this. Jesse poisoned the fuck out of me. And this is when I started throwing up, and I was sick for about 3 or 4 days and had a minor stroke. I swear to God I felt the sensation to now send Jesse toward him. And when Michael did that, this is whenever Jesse poisoned me, because there had been a buildup of unfortunate events even on his side, that he was already blaming Scott Springer, and then he was trying to have me murdered, and then he doesn't know anything. The classic soul, let me tell you how forgiveness. Okay, well anyway, we're going to talk about whenever I got kicked at the cemetery. If I had died, Michael resuscitated me. I don't believe he did. Paramedics left. If Michael had raped me and I did die, here's my mother. Classic soul. You want a forgiveness story? man, this is his mother that really loves her child. Now, my mother would be hating like this, but this is very raw. I don't understand why paramedics would be leaving. I'm about to get raped. I get up, and now, oh, forgiveness story. But I'm homeless for 5 or 6 years. Let's who gets the stroke next. Who has another problem next. Let's see who's going to get what. I'm having a murder attempt happen to me, and I'm showing up to my mom's front doorstep. My mom didn't seem to be very shaken up about it either. I think she handled it pretty well, and I kind of felt good about that. I kind of felt good at the sensation that she wasn't overwhelmed, because I was scared when I was going walking to her house that she was going to be like, she was going to kind of be over the top, because when I looked behind me, when I looked back when I was walking down the road all by myself in the morning, because I stayed there all night in the cold, and I was covered in blood, and I was like, just all fucked up, and I just woke up the cemetery at 5:30 in the morning. So I don't even know what time it was, and was staggering over to my mom's front doorstep, and I was scared that my mother was going to be like, like just a sense that my son was just now murdered, and the sense of, and I'd be having this sense like, I want to tell my mother, like, I'm sorry the President of the United States ordered this, and you have to see that your son not only got raped by a transgender, but now is getting, a knife pulled up to him and beaten the fuck out of. And when I looked back to the road, once I got about 20 yards, I looked back and I saw this Mexican police officer, and he looked at me mad, like he looked at me mad, like, you knew better than to be in that area. How about you go send a bunch of people to come chase me out of the fucking area and start scaring the shit out of me because I can't find a place to sleep and I can't find a place to rest. All I remember thinking, my body needs to fucking lay down somewhere in peace. Any fucking where the cops are going to go to the park and say, you can't sleep here. Where I'm not going to be in some sidewalk at some side end of the park is going to say, you can't sleep here. Oh, you got to leave, you can't sleep behind this store. Or somebody's going to come in because they're following me on my phone. I said, hey, the cemetery on the other side of the fence, they won't bother me here. Nobody wants to come in this shit area. Everyone here is dead, and I know I can get some rest here and some peace and quiet. Most of the time there won't be rats. There won't be none of that stuff, especially in the cemetery and stuff like that. It's just not common. So the elements of the environment is good for me. People won't want to go there, and also to recognize that my life has value, that I do not want to be here. I'm just trying to get rest, and I didn't stay there very many days. Now, my brother's buried at that cemetery, but before we help, my fellow black nigga, Barack Obama, help his fellow young black nigga, come up in the game, just like 50, make a normal life, and then Dana White wants to get involved and get dibs on it, and all these other motherfuckers. I really don't like the fact that my mother was going to be... My mother wouldn't be doing something like that. I think my mother would be emotionally just as distraught. She would just express that different, probably subdued, because, different excuses, different understandings, money exchanges. We're going to make sure who gets what. We're going to fix this shit. Sometimes I would have liked to, you have to have an enormous amount. I mean, they got kids. They got kids in these areas. It's crazy when you see crowds like that. These guys are singers, and they sing about killing people. They sing and they treasure what these cartels are doing, and they make fucking music out of it. No country in the world that I know does anything like this. I find this very despicable. This isn't 50 Cent I hold a gun, I'll strap your ass. They talk about enjoying, I'll cut your head off because I like it and all this other shit. Like, and it's just very frightening that anything like this is happening. But, you know, as much as I want to think, sometimes I would have thought that, you know, that this is kind of, my mother would have behaved since I was homeless and I was raped and all these things that were happening and all what Oprah Winfrey did to shit on it. One of the things that I know in my lifetime, my mother and only women understand that want a baby out of their genetic pool. All women want this. It's the most treasurable thing that they want in their life. Have everything. And that is to have a child of their genetic pool. My mother, obviously, is my mother, and I'm the only straight child. There wasn't very much time and a gap for that ever to happen. When my mother will never feel that she had a child of part of her genetics. Like I had, from my genetics, I got a woman pregnant, and she had a normal, healthy baby. When my mother would pick that baby up, she would sense the same way all women in this world, 95% of all women in the world, want in their life. They at least want one baby before they adopt and they accept. One baby that they understood that they're genetic, there's a connection with that. And my mother would never hold a baby saying part of my genetics, part of something of me is that made this baby. And I raised Hector to make, and I fed Hector this food and this nutrients so he could be healthy to maybe, no. My mother will never experience that. And in fact, I got raped by a transgender. Now let's go help this motherfucker over here, right? Let's just keep helping them because I feel sorry for this one now. And in my lifetime, it's something that I know number one is on my mom's list. That I think that would be the icing on the cake of all my birthdays. As much as she hates my birthday because I was on the same day as my dad. The idea that you're going to have, you get to, drop off a kid and do these things. But like I said, electronic devices, being raped by a transgender, very frightening situations that I didn't like to be a part of. And I honestly, with every my being, did not want anything like that to happen to me. And it makes me very upset that anything like that in life could have happened. And it continued to happen. And it's traumatizing to the idea. This is Conan the Barbarian. This is a little bit when I was being raped by the transgender. Yeah, that's very feeling, huh? Laser beam. The fucking transgender. I'm not a warrior, not a boxer. There's nothing more in life you could possibly have happen to you when you're physically fine and you're either going to get dominated. But it's such a treasurable tool to the gay community, far beyond anything, to have a grown man raped and continue to let it happen because the president ordered it. You shit on it later.
This is snakes. Two snakes.
Yeah, it's him having sex. Something like that. Gross. That person looked very alike like Patricia. It honestly didn't take, but I swear to God, this is as close as I could get to what it really in a movie. Barack Obama understands that. It's just a Okay, do you see that demon face? Expression, that's exactly the face that I got in the middle of sex erection on top of this person. And you see how I swear to God it was something like that. I fucking swear to God that this transgender, he was like that. Like, this person does not understand or is pretending what they see in movies and think it's the real deal. This, it was, goddamn, this is, it's a dismembered person. I swear to God, it was demon. I swear it was dark like that. It wasn't blue. It was dark and and it was like a demon, like out of the fucking devil world and shit. Just like I got your soul. Like out of being in the hospital, having a murder attempt, having everything that ever happened, so many situations. I don't think I've never felt anything in my life that really took something from me that was irreplaceable, that was so private, so innocent, and it just, like, a part of me died, like forever, that it was dead. I mean, this was no other part of my life if I ever felt like death like this. This wasn't just like me dying, changed in the hospital. Like, death didn't even feel like this so much in the hospital. This was an organization that put this together, that did this to me, for an exchange for something else without any justice, and then give it to someone else. I swear to God, I swear to fucking God, it was like this. And this expression of fear, sensation. I mean, it was, except he was actually a warrior. He actually threw him in the flames. That was it.